Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Midday Prime. I'm Gautam Roy. Over the next 1 hour, we'll bring you up to speed with all the day's updates, including on how India is closing in fast on the 100 crore vaccine doses mark in its battle against COVID-19. We'll also get you an update on the rain and snowfall situation in the country in states as distant and as varied as Kerala in the south and Himachal as well as Uttarakhand in the north. But first, the big news of this hour. India races towards the 100 crore COVID-19 vaccination doses milestone. Cumulative vaccination coverage reaches 99 crore landmark today. 13,058 new cases reported, lowest in 231 days. In Uttarakhand, all major rivers are in spate following heavy rains in the last 2 days. Many rivers of the state are flowing close to the danger mark. 16 people have lost their lives in the rain-related incidents. Relief and rescue operations are excuse me. Prime Minister Modi speaks to Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami and takes stock of the situation. Myanmar military government begins releasing of detained people. More than 5,600 people arrested during the anti-government protests in the country after the 1st of February coup are being released. Gunmen kill at least 43 people in an attack in a village market in the northern state of Sokoto in Nigeria. Police confirm that bandits attacked Goronyo. Nigerian troops are conducting air and ground operations against bandit camps in the area. Sports and the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2021, Scotland to play Papua New Guinea in Group B qualifier, while Bangladesh to face Oman in a do-or-die game. And Eid Milad-ul-Nabi is being celebrated across the country today. There will be no large-scale Milad procession in view of COVID-19 restrictions. President, Vice President and Prime Minister extend warm greetings to all citizens on the occasion. Let's begin now with the big news of the hour, which is all about India racing towards a landmark in the war against COVID-19. Now, India has reached another milestone in the vaccination drive across the nation. COVID-19 vaccination coverage has touched the 99 crore landmark milestone today. As India races towards the 100 crore mark in the COVID-19 battle, Prime Minister Modi has expressed confidence that India's vaccination program will prove to be most effective in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, and he's also said that everyone's participation is crucial. The PM congratulated the people of Uttarakhand as the state completed the administration of the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine to all eligible persons in the state. The country is aiming to vaccinate all its eligible population by the year end. And in the meantime, the centre has asked states and union territories to identify and prioritize districts having low COVID-19 vaccination coverage. States and union territories have been also asked to address local challenges by exploring need for additional vaccination centres and improving access in rural areas. Besides, the centre has urged them to share their strategies to enhance second dose coverage. Earlier, Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan reviewed the progress of COVID-19 vaccination with health secretaries and NHM MDs of states and union territories. During the meeting, the health secretary pointed out that many states have adequate doses to vaccinate those awaiting their second dose, and the centre is in a position to provide additional vaccine doses as well. In addition to that, India has reported only 13,058 new infections in the last 24 hours, which is the lowest in 231 days. Recovery rate is higher since March 2020 and is currently at 98.14%. 19,470 patients have recovered from COVID-19 infection yesterday, and this has increased total recoveries to 3,34,58,801. Active cases account for less than 1% of total cases, Active cases are currently at 0.54%, and this figure is the lowest since March 2020. Active caseload is lowest in 227 days, and it now stands at 1,83,118. As for testing, 11,81,314 samples were examined for COVID-19 on Monday. So far, a total of 59,31,06,188 samples have been tested. Okay, let's just track for you how India is closing in very fast on that 100 crore jabs landmark. Let's talk about India's jab war versus COVID-19 now, how it all started. Well, it started on the 16th of January 2021. That's when the vaccination campaign, it was a nationwide vaccination campaign that was launched. Now, the day that it began, on day one, 1.91 lakh vaccine doses were administered. But there was rapid progress made thereafter. On the 22nd of Jan in 2021, as this year itself, the administered doses crossed the 12 lakh mark. Next month in February, that is the 2nd of February, phase 2 of the nationwide vaccination drive was begun. In February itself, on the 19th of that month, 1 crore vaccine doses had been administered, and that was by day 34. Now, if we come to March, the 1st of March 2021, phase 3 of the nationwide vaccination drive was started. On the 1st of March itself, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took the first dose of India's indigenous Covaxin. Now, on the 6th of March 2021 itself, nationwide vaccination drive crossed 2 crore mark. Again, in March, on the 23rd of the month, the nationwide vaccination drive also crossed the 5 crore mark. Now, if you talk about the next month, the 1st of April itself, vaccination begun for all aged above 45 years as well. Week later, on the 8th of April, the PM took his second dose of Covaxin. 10th of April, India became the fastest country in crossing the 10 crore mark, I beg your pardon, in vaccination. And on the 1st of May 2021, the vaccination was approved for all above the age of 18 years. 12th of June 2021, the nationwide vaccination drive crossed the 25 crore mark as well. If you move to August, the 7th of August, vaccination drive crossed the 50 crore mark. And in September, on the 13th of that month, the vaccination drive also crossed the 75 crore mark. Again, in September itself, on the 17th, Prime Minister Modi's birthday witnessed over 2.25 crore vaccine doses shots being administered on a single day. And on the 19th of October, today itself, the nation has crossed the 99 crore mark as well of doses administered, and is closing in fast, like I said at the beginning, to the 100 crore mark as well. Now, Tapas Bhattacharya, my colleague, now joins us to talk more about this. Tapas, just tell us how close are we to crossing the 100 crore mark? Will it happen today or at the most tomorrow?
Very much. In fact, one could say that we are just one step ahead, and if everything goes according to plan, we may just see by the end of today or tomorrow, we may be able to recreate or able to rewrite history as one of those very few countries who have managed to do the unthinkable. Remember when the vaccination process started on January 16, a lot of skeptics and cynicists said that it is near impossible to vaccinate a population of such a huge size and staying in such a remote corner of the country. But under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, one could say that this is actually a Modi magic, that we are right now talking about this. We are talking about the 100 million, 1 crore, vaccinating 1 billion population. So this is what we are talking about, and a lot of credit goes to the scientific community under the able leadership of Prime Prime Minister Narendra Modi, under whom we have seen that even during the initial phases, where there was a lot of talk about whether India will be able to inoculate its entire population, he took the challenge. The Indian scientific community took up the challenge, and the result is that 100 million vaccines will be delivered. And this is a huge opportunity for a country like India to showcase its power, its scientific prowess. As and probably by by today evening or by tomorrow, we will be able to touch the 100 crore magic figure.
Yes, certainly. And going forward, the goal, of course, remains to vaccinate, and those are both the doses, every eligible person in the country by the end of the year, and that goal too seems to be within sight. Perhaps it could be achieved even before time. Tapas.
Absolutely, and in fact, some of the states, if you take a close look at some of the states, including Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat and other states, you realize is the fact that these states have actually, in all likelihood, will be able to vaccinate its entire population either by the end of November or probably by October, not even December. And as we have already mentioned, that it's a country of immense size and a huge population, and keeping a target of vaccinating its entire population by the end of December. Again, people were skeptic whether it is possible or not, but the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his able leadership has once again proven the fact that when India decides to do something, there is no task which is impossible, and this is what it is, and it's proven once again the fact that India will be able to achieve its target of vaccinating its entire population if everything goes according to plan, and we might see another round of discussion by the end of the December, when the whole population will be provided with the vaccination doses. So that's another huge point that we are talking about. And if you take a close look at the vaccination process, remember when the vaccination process started on January 16th, the pace was a little less, but since it was thrown open to the 40 plus category and then 18 plus category, and then also when there was a bit of an issue when it comes to the states procuring the vaccines and the private sector also procuring the vaccines,
yes,
the Prime Minister came in and made sure that there is no problem in procuring the vaccines, and made it a point that the vaccines will be provided to each and everyone without any problem and without a price. Otherwise, we have seen the states were charging money, the private sector was charging money, but Prime Minister Narendra Modi removed all the bottlenecks in its attempt to provide vaccination to the entire population. And the reasoning is very much in front of us, that even though there was a bit of a problem when the 18 plus population vaccination started, after a while, once the Prime Minister took everything, took things under his control, under his charge, everything went normal, and now we are talking about vaccinating 100 crore population. So that's a huge moral booster for a country like India, which has actually battled the scourge of this particular pandemic, but we have shown the world that we can come back stronger together.
Yes. Tapas, now in terms of this goal of 100% vaccination, there is the issue of vaccine hesitancy still, and there is an issue of some states surging ahead, completing 100% vaccination of the first dose as well. Goa namely one, and there are others as well, Himachal as well, but there are other states that are lagging too. Now, are we going to see some changes in strategy, maybe at even the local level, the district level, to ensure that every area, every district can have 100% vaccination of both the doses?
Well, let me just put it across. For instance, Jammu Kashmir, Chhattisgarh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Uttaranchal, Gujarat, Kerala, Odisha. These are the states which has done remarkably well in terms of the vaccine, providing vaccine to its entire population. In fact, most of the states have seen rise in the vaccination drive. There are few states, for instance, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal. These are the states where, in some of the districts at least, there are some sort of a concern that the vaccination drive is not as much as it should be, and the central government has written to the states and asking them that they should, the state government, the state machinery should work together to make sure that they provide vaccination to its entire population. So the idea is very clear that the faster you provide vaccination to your entire population, the faster you will achieve the herd immunity or the immunity that you are talking about. And then this particular pandemic will first it will turn into epidemic, and then it will just be it will not affect as much as it has done. So in that sense, the central government has written, it has in fact provided more than 100 million dosage to the states, different states, and right now the states have abundance of vaccines, which earlier they were saying that they do not have the vaccine, but now they have. It is now up to the states to provide it in the different districts, to the different parts of the districts, to make sure that each and every individual gets at least one dosage, and then make sure that by the as soon as possible they will be able to provide the second dose to the entire population.
Yes, close to 1.2 billion doses have been made available, of which we are closing in on the 1 billion mark of vaccine doses administered in the country. That landmark could be crossed later today or even tomorrow, and I'm sure Tapas will be around to get us an update on that as well. For the moment, thank you so much, Tapas Bhattacharya. And now, in another achievement in the health sector, E-sanjeevani, India's leading telemedicine service under the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, has clocked 1.4 crore consultations. Operating in two variants, that is E-sanjeevani ABHWC and E-sanjeevani OPT, this initiative has over time gained immense popularity in being able to deliver healthcare services through digital platforms. E-sanjeevani ABHWC, a doctor-to-doctor teleconsultation system launched with an intent to alleviate the urban-rural divide in terms of health services, works on a hub-and-spoke model. E-sanjeevani OPD, which was launched on the 13th of April this year, aims to provide safe doctor-to-patient consultations. E-sanjeevani OPD is available as a mobile app for both iOS and Android smartphones. E-sanjeevani as a whole is addressing the shortage of doctors and specialists at the ground level, while also reducing the burden on secondary and tertiary level hospitals. In line with the newly launched Ayushman Bharat Digital Health Mission, this digital initiative aims to constantly improve the digital health infrastructure in the country. Now let's tell you all about our developing story. And our developing story is all about the rains in large parts of the country. Let's start with Uttarakhand. Well, there in that state, all major rivers are in spate following heavy rains in the last 2 days. Many rivers in the state are flowing close to the danger mark. Due to heavy rains in the Chamoli district, excessive amount of water has been released from Kushinagar Dam. As a result, water level in the Ganga River has risen. People living near river banks are being sent to safer places. The state government and the state administration are in alert mode. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami is keeping a close watch on all the districts of the state and is in constant touch with district magistrates. Meanwhile, Gangotri National Highway in Uttarkashi district and Rishikesh Badrinath National Highway in Chamoli district have been blocked following landslides at two places. Several circuit roads connecting villages in hilly areas have also been blocked due to landslides. The work of opening the roads on priority basis has been initiated. The State Emergency Operations Centre is keeping a close watch on the situation arising out of the rains in the state. So far, 5 rain-related deaths have been reported in Uttarakhand. And Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami has reviewed the situation caused by the heavy rains in the state and said the administration is fully alert. Speaking to media persons, the Chief Minister said that Prime Minister and Home Minister have been briefed on the current situation in the state. He added that houses and bridges have been damaged at many places and 16 people have died so far. The Chief Minister said that 3 helicopters will be deployed for carrying out rescue operations in the rain-hit areas of the state.
हमारा माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, गृह मंत्री जी प्रदेश को लेकर लगातार उनकी संवेदनशीलता यहाँ के लिए बनी हुई है। लगातार उनकी निगरानी में, उनके मार्गदर्शन में जो भी स्थिति है उस स्थिति को बताया है कि यहाँ पर इतना सारा नुकसान हो गया है, यहाँ पर लोग फंसे हुए हैं, जगह जगह पर अभी भारी बरसात हो रही है, जल भराव हो गया है, किसानों का भी नुकसान हुआ है। जेसीबी इत्यादि अभी सभी लगे हैं, लेकिन भारी बरसात के कारण से अभी वो काम थोड़ा कठिन हो रहा है, लेकिन हम सभी को निकालेंगे। हमने अभी सभी श्रद्धालुओं से, पर्यटकों से, आने वाले यात्रियों से, सभी से हम अनुरोध भी कर रहे हैं कि अभी जब तक आगे से यहाँ से सूचना नहीं मिले पूरी तरह से, जब तक क्लियरिटी न हो तब तक यात्रा अभी न करें।
And Prime Minister Modi has spoken with the Chief Minister, apart from speaking with another Uttarakhand Minister, Ajay Bhatt. The PM took stock of the situation arising out of the heavy rainfall in the state. Yesterday, Uttarakhand Governor Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh had called on Prime Minister Modi about the same situation. Now, many parts of Madhya Pradesh are also receiving moderate to heavy rains. The Met Department has issued a yellow alert for heavy rains in various parts of the state today. The department has forecast that moderate to heavy rains with thunderstorms will continue for 2 to 3 days in many districts of the state. Meanwhile, several parts of the state, including the capital Bhopal and Indore, have been receiving intermittent rain since yesterday, making the weather there quite pleasant. Now let's tell you what we've got for you in National Prime. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating the Kushinagar International Airport tomorrow. The international airport will get operational this week to ease cumbersome travel of earlier times, facilitating the air travel requirements of international Buddhist pilgrims in India. The inaugural flight will land at the airport from Colombo in Sri Lanka, carrying 125 dignitaries and Buddhist monks, highlighting the convenience for Buddhists across the world to visit the Mahaparinirvan Sthal of Lord Buddha. The Airports Authority of India, and its continuous endeavour to upgrade airport infrastructure in the country, has developed the Kushinagar Airport with new terminal buildings spread across 3,600 square metres at an estimated cost of 260 crore rupees in association with the Uttar Pradesh government, considering the demand of the domestic and international visitors as well as for pilgrimage. The new terminal is equipped to handle 300 passengers during peak hours. Now, Kushinagar is an international Buddhist pilgrimage centre where Lord Gautam Buddha attained Mahaparinirvana. It's also the centre point of the Buddhist circuit, which consists of pilgrimage sites at Lumbini, Sarnath and Gaya. The airport will help in attracting more followers of Buddhism from home and abroad to Kushinagar and will enhance the development of Buddhist theme-based circuit. Okay, let me take you across to Vishal Baristo, my colleague in Kushinagar. Good afternoon to you, Vishal. Tomorrow is, of course, the big day, not just for Kushinagar, but for all those who follow Lord Buddha and believe in Buddhism, followers of that faith. And I'm sure there is going to be a lot that will be unfolding tomorrow. Just tell us what's in store and what is this new, spanking new airport and terminal really like?
Well, a very good afternoon. Let me tell you that it is not only about those associated with Buddhism, because this is going to serve a long way as far as development in the economy is concerned. And yes, it would be developing one of the 4 principal sites really connected with Buddhism. But apart from that, a 20% rise is expected as far as the tourism sector is concerned. Then also it would also cater to 15 districts that fall in the hinterland of this place. the districts connected, especially with the Eastern UP, the Western Bihar and North Bihar. And apart from that, it would also promote horticulture as far as banana crop is concerned, strawberries. So this is going to play a major role in not only promoting the Buddhist sector, but also promoting the tourism industry, the horticulture industry, and also providing jobs and employment opportunities for the local population. Pardon?
Okay, just wanted to find out from you, what's the new airport terminal like? It's been constructed completely anew, and I believe it has in itself a very Buddhist theme.
Well, absolutely, because it is coming up at the very site where the Lord Buddha attained his Mahaparinirvan, and that is why it has got all the influence of the Buddhist culture. And it would also be very, very important for all those people who are residing in other countries, especially in Sri Lanka, Nepal, and also in the South Asian countries. In fact, apart from the 125 dignitaries that will be coming from Sri Lanka, along with the monks, we are also expecting ambassadors from 10 different countries. The names would be out soon, but definitely it would also serve the purpose of strengthening the bond with our neighboring countries. And when it comes to religion, India has always been the front runner. Gautam?
Right, and what about the people of Kushinagar? What do they make of this occasion?
Well, for Kushinagar, it's a long-awaited dream, because so far we have had only two airports, one in Lucknow, Chaudhry Charan Singh, and the other one in Varanasi. Though one major airport is also coming up at Jewar, but this particular airport would serve the need of the people. It would provide connectivity, especially in the eastern part of UP, and also it would have a multiplier effect, as I told you, on the economy, because a lot of sectors would be connected to it: tourism, hospitality, food. So it would provide a lot of employment opportunities for the local people, and obviously a seamless access for those who are interested in the Buddhist tourism. So it is going to be a huge opportunity, not only for the local people, but also for all those who have been wanting to visit Kushinagar, and this airport would provide all that they need.
Okay, tell us a little bit more in terms of what kind of services will be provided. The Prime Minister is inaugurating it tomorrow, and then of course the airport will be thrown open for the use of everyone else as well. Apart from that flight that you mentioned, where 10 ambassadors might also be coming. So what will be the frequency of flights? Who all will be operating from there? What's the traffic expected?
Well, let me tell you, Gautam, that this would be an international airport. So apart from the national flights, apart from the local flights, we would also be having flights from abroad, and that is why tomorrow our London flight is coming, carrying 125 delegates along with the monks. So the frequency will be good. The flights would be not only from the national circuit, but also from the international circuit. And that is why this airport is going to play a major role as far as the development process is concerned, especially in the eastern part of UP. And all those who have been waiting for this would be very happy the moment the Prime Minister dedicates it to the nation.
Right. I'm sure it will be a big occasion, and I'm sure we'll have you with us as well to tell us all about it when that happens. For the moment, thank you for joining us. Vishal Baristo. Okay, now Eid Milad-ul-Nabi, which commemorates the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, is being celebrated with religious fervor across the country today. The Prophet's birthday falls on the 12th day of the Islamic month of Rabi-ul-Awwal. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have extended their greetings and good wishes on the occasion to the people. In a message, the President said, and I quote, "Prophet Muhammad's life is an example of fraternity, compassion and affection. He will always remain a source of inspiration for humanity. Let us take inspiration from his life and ideals and work for the prosperity of society and promotion of peace and harmony in the country." And extending his greetings, the Vice President said the Holy Prophet showed humanity the righteous path of compassion, tolerance and universal brotherhood. May his eternal message continue to guide us in building a just, humane and harmonious society. And the PM has also extended his greetings on Milad al-Nabi. The PM in a tweet said, and I quote, "Let there be peace and prosperity all around. May the virtues of kindness and brotherhood always prevail. Eid Mubarak." Now, on the occasion, the Mumbai police has issued an order prohibiting all processions on Eid Milad al-Nabi, except one procession in Mumbai City District and another in Mumbai Suburban District in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. In most of the places, there will be no large-scale Milad procession in view of the restrictions. However, Milad Mehfils and Seerat Majlis will be held while adhering to COVID norms and guidelines. Now, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has flagged off Modi ban in New Delhi today under Bharatiya Janata Party's Seva Hi Sangathan program to commemorate Prime Minister Modi completing 20 years and as elected representative, which he did earlier this month. The special van will operate under the aegis of Kaushalya Vikas Parishad, which is run by BJP's National Secretary and Lok Sabha MP Vinod Sonkar. 5 Modi vans will be operated in the 5 Vidhan Sabha constituencies across Uttar Pradesh's Kaushambi district. The van will also consist of telemedicine as well as a machine that can test 39 blood samples in one go. The Modi van will also help in promoting vaccination against COVID-19 in remote villages. Besides, the vehicles will be used to administer oath to people to keep villages clean and to keep them plastic free. A pledge for water conservation will also be administered using the same vans.
ये मेरी लोकसभा में 5 विधानसभा है, 5 विधानसभाओं के लिए 5 वैन निकाली गई है और पर्पज है सेवा ही संगठन को चरितार्थ करना। जिस गांव में जाएगी उस गांव में 100% वैक्सीनेशन का काम होगा और साथ ही साथ वहां पे स्वच्छता का वृक्षारोपण का शपथ दिलाई जाएगी।
Now, in today's episode of Saga of Freedom, we will talk about V. Ramalingam Pillai, who was popularly known as Namakkal Kavanyar. Ramalingam Pillai enlightened the youth of Tamil Nadu through his novels and songs. Also, we will pay tribute to Nirmala Deshpande, who is known to be the spirit behind peace marches in Punjab and Kashmir when violence was at its peak in those states.
On 19th of October 1888, V. Ramalingam Pillai, popularly known as Namakkal Kavanyar, was born at Mohanur in Namakkal district in Tamil Nadu to Venkataraman and Ammani Ammal. His father worked in police department. He did his BA in 1909 from Bishop Heber College at Tiruchi. Initially, he worked as a clerk at Namakkal Tahsildar's office and later worked as a primary school teacher.
He wrote hundreds of poems with patriotic fervour. He also participated in the salt satyagraha against the British government in 1930 and went to jail for 1 year. His novels and songs enlightened the youth of Tamil Nadu about the freedom movement and Gandhian ways of fighting with the enemy.
Ramalingam Pillai, who was fondly called as nationalist poet, wrote, "Without sword and without blood, a war is being waged. Those who believe in the immortality of truth can join without hesitation."
காந்தி என்ற சாந்தமூர்த்தி தேர்ந்து காட்டும் செந்நெறி மாந்தருக்குள் தீமை குன்ற வாய்ந்த தெய்வ மார்க்கமே.
His novel, Malaikallan, was made into a Tamil film post-independence and became a super hit film and won President's Medal for Best Film.
கத்தியின்றி ரத்தமின்றி யுத்தம் ஒன்று வருகிறது சத்தியத்தின் நித்தியத்தை நம்பும் யாரும் சேருவே.
This film was later remade in Hindi as Azad. His poems on the pride of being an Indian and Tamil, and his verses on Khadi are being quoted even today in Tamil Nadu. He received the Padma Bhushan Award in 1971. Nirmala Deshpande was born to Vimala and Purushottam Yashwant Deshpande in Nagpur on the 19th of October 1929. Her father was the recipient of the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1962 for his work in Marathi Anamikachi Chintanika.
She did MA in Political Science from Nagpur. She also studied at Ferguson College, Pune. Thereafter, she served as lecturer in Political Science in Morris College, Nagpur.
Deshpande joined Vinoba Bhave's Bhudan movement in 1952. She undertook a 40,000-kilometer Padyatra across India to carry Gandhi's message of Gram Swaraj. She recognized that it was difficult to practice Gandhian principles, yet believed that doing so was the only way towards a truly democratic society.
Deshpande was known to be the spirit behind peace marches in Punjab and Kashmir when violence was at its peak in those states. She served as the president of a historical organization, Harijan Sevak Sangh, from June 1983 till her death. She was associated with many social organizations and bodies. She founded Akhil Bharat Rachnatmak Samaj that won the National Communal Harmony Award in 2004.
Nirmala Deshpande was a nominated member of the Rajya Sabha twice. Deshpande received the Rajiv Gandhi National Sadbhavna Award in 2005 and the Padma Vibhushan in 2006.
And now in Midday Prime, it's time to get you all the updates from the world of business and economy. And to give us all the dope on the markets as well as what's happening in the world of business, we've got Tanvi.
Thank you, Gautam. Well, the domestic stock markets have been somewhat volatile on Tuesday, even as the BSE Sensex and the Nifty surged to fresh all-time highs. So the Sensex at the BSE crossed the 62,000 mark for the first time ever to a lifetime intraday high of 62,245. Later, the Sensex was up 232 points or 0.4% at 61,998 in afternoon deals a short while ago. And the Nifty at the National Stock Exchange touched an all-time intraday record high of 18,501. Later, the Nifty was up 38 points or 0.2% at 18,515. But the broader market underperformed, with the BSE Mid-Cap Index trading flat and the Small-Cap Index adding just 0.2%. The top index gainers are Tech Mahindra, Lawson & Toubro, Bajaj Finserv and Infosys with gains of between 2% and 5.4%. The top index losers are ITC, Eicher Motors, Titan and Ultratech Cement with losses of between 2 and 4.7%. Other key Asian markets also advanced on Tuesday, supported by an overnight tech-driven Wall Street rally and a rebound in Chinese markets a day after weak data heightened investors' concerns about the world's second largest economy. So MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan had climbed 0.8%. The index is up about 5% since its 12-month low hit on October 5th, largely in line with a similar rally in world shares following a strong opening to the US corporate earnings season. Japan's Nikkei 225 index, China's Shanghai Composite Index and South Korea's Kospi Index had added 0.7% each, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index had jumped 1.4%. Across on Wall Street overnight, key stock indices, the S&P and the Nasdaq had closed higher, boosted by technology and communications companies, while investors eyed product news from Apple and appeared optimistic about the third quarter corporate earnings season. So the S&P 500 had gained 0.3% and the Nasdaq Composite Index had added 0.8%. Back home at the multi-commodity exchange, gold had gained 159 rupees to trade at 47,450 rupees per 10 grams in afternoon deals. Silver had jumped 834 rupees to 64,100 rupees per kilo. And the interbank forex market is closed for a holiday today on account of Eid. And moving on, we'll tell you how the global energy market is doing on Tuesday. Global crude oil prices fell after Chinese data showed slowing economic growth and US factory output dropped in September, raising fresh concerns about demand amid patchy recovery from the coronavirus pandemic. So Brent crude was down 43 cents or 0.5% at $83.90 a barrel, but Brent is still up nearly 7% this month. US oil fell 33 cents or 0.4% to $82.11 a barrel. Still, US oil is up nearly 10% this month. Factory output in the United States dropped the most in 7 months last month as a global shortage of semiconductors slowed auto production. Further evidence that supply constraints are on a strain to economic growth. In China, the world's second biggest economy, bottlenecks also contributed to a decline in the growth rate to a one-year low as energy shortages and sporadic outbreaks of coronavirus hit the country. So that's it from the world of business for now. Back to you, Gautam.
Yeah, quite a mixed bag today, but let's hope that there's more positive news coming in the days to come. Now, let's turn to all the global updates coming in. Till now. Well, close to home in Myanmar, the military government has started to release more than 5,600 people who were arrested during the anti-government protests in the country after the 1st of February coup. The released include 1,300 people jailed for protests against the government, while the remaining 4,300 are those who face charges of anti-government activism of various kinds. The post-state councillor Aung San Suu Kyi's party spokespersons have also been released. Political prisoners, including journalists and parliamentarians, were released from other towns. However, those charged with violent activities have not been released under this amnesty scheme. The release of prisoners has come after the ASEAN's decision to invite a non-political representative from Myanmar for a summit meeting scheduled to be held between the 26th and 28th of October, that is just later this month. According to the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, 7,355 people are detained in Myanmar following the military takeover. It reports that 1,181 people have been killed in protests since the 1st of February when the coup happened. Let's take you across to Rajesh Jha, our correspondent who's joining us from Naypyidaw. Good afternoon to you, Rajesh. Just tell us, all these people that are being released, the criteria, what exactly is that? Because those involved in violence are still not being released, but I'm sure there must be some criteria that they're meeting, because it does not extend to Aung San Suu Kyi, but it extends to those who are spokespeople of her party.
Well, Gautam, there is no announced criteria, but the announcement about the release that was given out by the official news agency of Myanmar last night, after the announcement was made by the Senior General Helang, says that this is being done in order to promote democracy and in order to bring peace to the country. Now, as you see, one important point is that those who have been accused of violence or arson or such big crimes, they have not been released. In addition, senior people like very, very senior political figures like Aung San Suu Kyi and the former president of Myanmar have also not been released in this order. However, it remains true that important people, journalists, people from the media, doctors and other senior people, protesters who have been like important personalities from Myanmar, they have all been released. Two of the spokespersons of the NLD have also been released. So it appears that out of roughly 7,300 detainees in Myanmar, roughly 5,600 are being released. So this is quite a big number. So it means that most of the people who were arrested after the February 1st takeover of the civilian government by the military are now being released. So even when there is no criteria that is being talked about, it appears that most of the people who did participate in the protests in various forms all over the country are being released. Gautam?
Right. Now, we can obviously presume that the junta is not really doing this because it's out of the goodness of their hearts. They're trying to curry favor somewhere, which is probably the ASEAN, which wanted a non-political representative at the meeting on the 26th of October till the 28th. Now, is this going to cut much ice with ASEAN and other members of the world community, the global community, which have been urging Myanmar to restore democracy? That again is nowhere in sight at the moment.
Yes, Gautam, it seems that Myanmar has come under a lot of pressure from the ASEAN because in the meeting that took place, it was a very, very unprecedented decision on the part of the ASEAN, because ASEAN has a declared policy of non-interference in the domestic politics and domestic issues of a country. Now, within ASEAN, there were divisions, and it is said that many of the countries, including the news agencies report that countries like some countries, for example, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, and also Brunei, they were in favor of stronger action against Myanmar. And ultimately, it was decided that a non-political representative from Myanmar would be allowed to take part in the summit meeting. It did play a big role in the decision that you see of releasing 5,600 political prisoners by the government. However, in his statement yesterday, when he spoke on the national television yesterday, the Senior General Halang said that this is the policy of the ASEAN, the statement, the way ASEAN has been developing is not quite in line with the 5-point agreement that was reached earlier in the month of August, in April, because they are asking, the special representative is asking to meet certain people in Myanmar, which is not acceptable to the Myanmar government. So there is a kind of double play that is being done by the Myanmar military rulers. On the one hand, they are showing flexibility in releasing the people, and yet not fully agreeing to the ASEAN special representative's desire to meet all the political representatives cutting across the political spectrum when he visits Myanmar. So things are uncertain as yet, but it seems that Myanmar is under political pressure internationally to give space to at least to the ASEAN representatives to come and start a process of dialogue in Myanmar.
Okay. Well, let's hope that more positives emerge from the military junta in Myanmar being under pressure. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, Rajesh Jha. Okay, now in news from Iran, where Iran has backed talks with 6 major powers that are result-oriented. Iranian hardline President Ibrahim Raisi said yesterday as Tehran and 6 powers struggle to overcome snags hampering the resumption of negotiations to revive the 2015 nuclear deal. In April, Iran and 6 powers started talks to reinstate the deal that then US President Donald Trump ditched 3 years ago and reimpose sanctions that have squeezed Iran's oil exports. But the talks were put on hold after Raisi's election in June. Western powers have urged Iran to return to negotiations, warning that time is running out as Tehran's nuclear program is advancing well beyond limits of nuclear pact. In response to Trump's reimposition of sanctions, Tehran has breached the deal by rebuilding stockpiles of enriched uranium, refining it to higher fissile purity, and installing advanced centrifuges to speed up its output as well. Now in Nigeria, gunmen killed at least 43 people in an attack at a village market in the northern state of Sokoto. Sokoto Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal today said the assault began at a weekly market in Goronyo on Sunday and continued till today. The police confirmed that bandits attacked Goronyo. Meanwhile, an official said the African country's security forces have killed 10 armed bandits in a recent operation against the hideouts of the bandits in northwest state of Kaduna. Phone networks in the area have been suspended for weeks to disrupt the gang's operations, making information gathering difficult. Since last month, Nigerian troops have been conducting air and ground operations against bandit camps in neighboring Zamfara state. North Korea fired at least 1 ballistic missile off its east coast on Tuesday. Officials in South Korea and Japan said the launch came as Seoul opened a major spy chiefs meet to discuss the nuclear standoff, and South Korea prepares for a space launch. The North Korean launch would be the latest weapons test by the country, which is pressed ahead with military development in the face of international sanctions imposed over its nuclear weapons and missile programs. The United States of America will not join international talks on Afghanistan organized by Russia on the 20th of October. The US State Department has blamed logistical issues but said it considers the Russian-led forum to be constructive. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said that the US will not participate in Moscow talks. He added that the Troika Plus has been an effective constructive forum. The US has been encouraging nations not to recognize the Taliban government, hoping for leverage on key issues of concern, including the rights of women and girls. Russian envoy Zamir Kabulov on Friday announced the four-nation talks in Moscow, saying they would aim to work out a common position on the changing situation in Afghanistan. This will be the first Moscow format dialogue since the takeover of Afghanistan by the Taliban in August. India has also got an invite for the Moscow format meeting on Afghanistan, and it will participate in the deliberations. And now we're turning to the world of sports. And first we're talking about cricket because the ICC T20 World Cup is on, and India defeated England by 7 wickets in its first warm-up match of the ICC T20 World Cup 2021 at the ICC Cricket Academy ground in Dubai on Monday. England's Johnny Bairstow smashed a 36-ball 49 to help England post a challenging 188 for 5. Moeen Ali's whirlwind 20-ball 43 which powered England to a good score in the end as well. India's Mohammad Shami snapped up 3 wickets. Later, India's Ishan Kishan opened the innings in Rohit's absence, and after getting dropped twice, sent the English bowlers to a leather hunt during his 46-ball 70. India will play its second and last practice match on the 20th of October, which is tomorrow. And Sri Lanka defeated Namibia by 7 wickets in their Group A Round 1 match of the ongoing T20 World Cup at the Sheikh Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi on Monday. Chasing a target of 97 runs, Sri Lanka posted 100 for 3 in 13.3 overs. And Ireland defeated Netherlands by 7 wickets in their first round Group B match of the ICC T20 World Cup in Abu Dhabi on Monday. Ireland first dismissed Netherlands for 106 in exactly 20 overs, with Curtis Camphor and Mark Adair sharing 7 wickets. And time now to quickly switch to the lighter, the non-mainstream side of news, soft news. It's called Life Prime. Now, with climate change taking the world into its clutches, many environmentalist activists have expressed their concerns through various forms. Many have taken to various forms of art to express their climate worries. One such person is British fashion designer Vivienne Westwood. The 80-year-old designer is known for her environmental activism.
The word economy means household management. Earth is our home. So, on a global scale, economy means sustainability. We don't have that. We have no future. Tomorrow is too late.
Now, that's what is called making a statement that goes far beyond fashion. That's all we have for the moment in this edition of Midday Prime, but all the latest cut news right here on DD India. Stay with us.